Let's talk about the voluntary sale of shares and the involuntary sale of shares. Now, in the first case, voluntary, it speaks for itself. This is one partner who doesn't want to be in the relationship anymore, or who received an offer from a third party to buy that person's shares. So let's, for example, take the case of somebody who has an offer from a third party. They have the obligation to bring that offer and offer the same terms to the other shareholder or shareholders. Now, that shareholder who gets the offer and gives it to his other partners then has to wait for them to make the first decision. Now, this is important because the shareholders oftentimes want to keep control within a restricted number of people that are already in this agreement. So, for example, if I'm in business with you, I don't necessarily want to be in business with your cousin, your uncle, or the friend that you've been hanging around with at the bowling alley. And so the right of first refusal really makes a loyal relationship between the shareholders and provides that, hey, we're in this together, and otherwise, if not, I want to sell my shares with you to the third party upon the same conditions. And so that's a voluntary thing. This is the person receiving the offer has that option. Now, let's talk about an involuntary sale of shares. Because you want to preserve the purity, the integrity of the corporation, this is really reserved for exceptional cases where a shareholder, for example, commits fraud, is declared bankrupt, or is insolvent, or is any similar proceedings. Now, in this case, there's a clearly defined mechanism. It seems a little complicated, but it's really baked in properly to make sure that nothing is left to chance if and when you need to activate the clause. And so this really provides that in the event any of these little things happen, well, then the remaining shareholder or shareholders can actually get rid of the defaulting guy or girl, the one who's causing issues, or the one who's jeopardizing the activity, the operations, and even the integrity of the corporation. And so those are the difference. Make sure you pay attention to every clause, because it's really important to make sure that everyone understands their obligations and respects the code in the corporation.